Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Right Now. We talk about real estate matters that matter to you. My name is Jay Izzo, and we are live here at Linda Craft Team Studios, here part of in Raleigh, part of the Greater Research Triangle Park. Today's show, by the way, is one that we've never done. In fact, what it is, it's a show in which what we did is we decided we should probably talk to a computer guy, and here's why. One of the things that has happened since COVID has been that we work from home more frequently, and more of us do it. And so we have computers in our home. And of course, we've always had a home computer. Matter of fact, it's very difficult for any of us to think about a time when we didn't have a home computer. And they, as with anything, those computers have problems. So then we start going and go, well, what should we know about our home computers to make those work better or avoid problems? And this is why I bring in Bayne Shulstad. He is the president, CEO, owner of CompuDocs, Triangle CompuDocs. Yeah, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Bayne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you with us. So before we get into the nitty gritty, tell people what it is that you do and who you work with.
All right. Well, I own Triangle CompuDocs. We started this company in 2011, and we provide managed services for dozens of businesses across the Triangle area. In addition, we do on-site and remote support for businesses and residential.
Okay, so you work with small business. You work with people in the home, right? So
absolutely, all the time.
All the time, right? So let's start with the home first.
Sure.
And what is the most common problem or issue that you deal with when it comes to computers at home?
Well, I'd say there's a few.
Okay, all right. Is there an order here, rank order?
I'm going to go with the most important last.
Okay, good. I love that. All right, perfect. Okay, great. Awesome.
Computers are like cars.
Okay.
Right. So if you buy a car and you drive that car indefinitely without any maintenance, that car is not going to perform right.
Right.
And computers being very similar to that, in that you can buy it from the store. It's super fast. It's great. It's got plenty of memory. It's got plenty of storage space on it. The fans blow perfectly. But over time, if you don't do any maintenance, these things start to fail. And most home users don't do any computer maintenance. They just rely on Microsoft to do the maintenance for them, or they assume that they bought an antivirus and so it's doing everything it needs to do.
Right.
So computer maintenance is a big deal, and I recommend every 6 to 9 months to have somebody go over it, do a little bit of tune-up on that computer, and you can keep it running for much longer. So where you might have 3 to 5 years on a computer, you might be able to get 8 to 10 years out of it if you can just do computer maintenance plus upgrades.
Right.
You know, as it slows down, you might want to replace some of the internal components to make it faster. So that's one of the things we see all the time.
Oh, okay. And I want to just add to this real quick.
Okay.
One of the things when I had my, big computer, box right below my desk, and I remember how much dust and stuff it collected.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
And because we think about computer maintenance often in terms of, okay, we got to upgrade the Microsoft, or the software, the hardware, whatever. We got to maybe, we got to add more memory or subtract more memory if we can do that. And then, or we got to change hard drives. But when it got into the computer, all of the dust and it has a smell when it gets hot, by the way.
Yes, it does.
It has a very unique smell to it. And I don't know. I mean, if I were to ask everybody in the audience, when's the last time you actually blew out the dust in your computer? You're all going to go, I've never. No. Part of what you do, right? Because
Absolutely.
It does make a big deal.
We carry a compressor in the car, and so we'll take that computer out and we'll blast all that out of there. So dust coats everything, makes everything run hotter, and computers don't like heat. So if you have a fan that's coated in dust, your processor heats up more, you're going to perform worse. And so your computer will slow down or crash just because of the dust. And having animals in the home makes it even worse. Not that you shouldn't have animals. You should have animals if you like. But computers don't have a filter.
Right.
Your air conditioning at home has a filter. Computers don't. So every bit of dust, dander, hair, all that stuff goes right in there and can cause issues.
Okay, so that's the number one. Let's maintain. What do you got? What's next?
Number two is safety. So we have these computers at home. We may have families, either young ones or teenagers at home, and we give them devices that can access the darkest parts of the world. a lot of people have asked me, what do I do? How do I protect my kids? How do I lock them down? Well,
right.
It's not necessarily about locking anyone down. It's just about protecting from things that we don't need to see at a certain age. And there are plenty of things out there, from software that you can load to firewalls that you could put at the front gate. So this is something that will prevent all these things from coming in and prevent you from going to places you don't want to be. So I think that's a huge problem.
Sure.
And that is where, if I come across somebody that has a virus, malware, adware, spyware, it's usually because they weren't protected.
Right.
You may follow an advertisement down a rabbit hole, or you may get an email because it came through that shouldn't have come through.
Right.
And so I think security is really the most important thing for the home user, and security on every machine. Most people don't have one computer. They have 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know me. I mean, I've got several computers.
Absolutely. Right? And so you don't want to have one free antivirus on this computer, and you paid for something here, but you don't really know which one's expired, which one's updated. Security is a big deal, and especially with the cyber crimes these days, and it is just ramping up. It's not slowing down. AI is going to make it worse.
Yeah,
that's not to fear AI. We should ride that wave while we can. It is here. It's not coming. It's here.
Right,
and so we should use it for its positive purposes.
And it's not going to go away.
No, it is not
at all. Is there anything else we should consider on our home computer that you think of that are big issues or problems that you run across as you work with people's home computers?
Well, I think education on the things to look out for, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit anyway. So those two things, regular maintenance and good protection, are probably the most important things that I run into. Clearly, hardware upgrades and things like that are going to happen. Things are going to break down. That's normal, but regular maintenance will prevent those things.
All right. So you also work with small businesses.
I do.
Right. And how big of a business will you work with?
I would say 50 computers is probably where I want to start drawing a line.
Okay. So I know you do work here at Linda Craft's office here, and as well as several offices, by the way.
Dozens of offices around the triangle, yes.
What are some of the issues that you see in the office computer that maybe they're not thinking about? Because let's be honest, a lot of small businesses don't. They purchase these computers, they go to a store, right? And they purchase these computers. They don't necessarily purchase a computer that's built. I've been guilty of this when we first started. I was guilty of just purchasing a computer from a store.
Sure.
And not really understanding, because we have a network, that there were certain things that these computers needed to have in order to function well. And to make the network run well.
Right.
So talk to us about a small business, and what are some of the issues and complications or challenges that you see when it comes to computers in the office?
Yes, small businesses. A lot of people start their businesses on a shoestring budget.
Right.
And so they get a couple computers. They think as long as they're networked, they're fine. It comes off the shelf. The downside to buying something from one of the box stores is that those are really consumer grade products. They're not really built to last. They're not built for heavy use. They're built for light website browsing and things like that.
You're doing email. You're doing a little social media. You're doing a little website stuff.
Right.
But like, these computers are used 8 to 10 hours every single day, constantly.
That's right. So having something that's a business class computer is really going to be the benefit. And they're not terribly more expensive, but they have the components inside. They're going to last a long time. One of the things I would say that businesses lack is regular maintenance. Once again, they just rely on the computer as it is. They're hoping Microsoft is doing what it's supposed to do. The thing that I recommend for small and medium-sized businesses is having a managed services provider. So what I do at Triangle CompuDocs is I provide a host of tools that are going to protect your computer. So we're making sure all the Windows updates are happening, from security to feature updates. We're making sure third-party updates are happening. So anything that's not updated or patched is a risk from external devices. So We want to make sure that everyone is updated at the same rate. We want every
Right.
computer to be updated at the same time,
Sure.
really, so that there's no weak spot, no weak link.
Right.
In addition to that, we want to make sure that everyone's got an antivirus, not just a standalone antivirus that is reliant on a list of viruses. Right. So most antiviruses, something's trying to come into the computer. It looks at that, looks at a list of items that might be a virus. If it's not on that list, it lets it through.
Right.
But what we provide is something that's called an endpoint antivirus, which literally there is a team, a security operations center that is watching those things. And so therefore, everyone in the office is protected, whether it's 3 PM or 3 AM.
Right.
And so security is a big deal. You could lose everything in just a moment if everything's not patched. So I really recommend that these things are in place so that people aren't going to have the issues that they might have when one person allowed a virus to come into their computer, or malware or spyware.
So that's really the big deal, the security issue then for the small businesses.
Security is huge. Maintenance is huge.
Maintenance still huge.
It's almost the same thing, just exponentially
more
worse.
Okay. Okay. So then let's do the cross hybrid, right? I work from home,
right,
with a company computer, but I'm using my router.
That's right.
Right. There's got to be a challenge there, doesn't there? That from a security standpoint, because I've seen routers hijacked. I've had that happen to me.
Absolutely. Yes. That's why I think a hardware firewall is well, not just a good idea. It's an excellent idea to have. Everyone should have something, either a software firewall and a hardware firewall to prevent the intrusion attacks that come.
Yeah, because I mean, more and more people are working from their home, as I stated. And sometimes these companies give them the computer, or what I have seen is in some of my coaching clients is that they have to have a dedicated computer that is only for the business.
That's right. That happens a lot. Or they have a VPN that they connect to that puts them on a private network as if they were in the office. So a lot of the larger companies are going to be providing that. Small companies typically have no idea how to do that.
Right. Is that something you can help them?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can help them put that VPN together.
Yes.
Which, by the way, VPN, for those of you who are curious, virtual private network. Okay.
That's right.
Just to let you know, I know we use sometimes we use these things like you should know them. We're not always right there. There's a lot. I get a lot of phishing emails.
Yes.
And there's all sorts of viruses out there today. How do you go about finding the right way to stop that? You've kind of alluded to it a little bit, but is there more than one package? What kind of packages or things can people get from you to help them stop the phishing and stop the virus aspects?
I will say the phishing is not going to stop. Okay. And that's from emails and texts. You're probably getting texts.
Yeah,
you get a text from the post office that says they have a package waiting. Just click this link. Training is the biggest issue on this. Recognizing that something, first of all, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. But a lot of times people are getting emails. In business, a lot of times they're getting a spoofed email from their manager or the owner that says, please go do this, go buy 10 gift cards that I can give away, which really seems odd. And so people just need to be aware of if it seems like it's not right, get more information. If you've gotten an email from a company that you've worked for that says they are charging your card or have already charged your card, don't just immediately get nervous and click the link. Go look at your bank. See if you've actually been charged anything. The first thing I always do when I get an email that seems suspicious, look where it's coming from.
Right.
For instance, let's say you have an Adobe subscription and you get an email from Adobe that says they're going to charge you $500 to renew your subscription. And that doesn't seem normal. It doesn't seem like it was that expensive. Where did it come from? It's easy to look at the email address where it came from. If it's a Gmail account, it is not from Adobe.
Right.
And so I like to warn people about that. Know the signs. If it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Don't ever click a link or call a phone number in the email. If it seems suspicious, go to that company.
Yeah, but now I'm going to tell you, I'm be completely transparent and vulnerable here because this happened to me less than a month ago, where a person that I knew
Mm-hmm.
that from my hometown back in Nebraska, know her well. She's a little older than I am. Know her family, right? Every part of her family, know everything about them, and she said, "Hey, listen, having this estate sale," and I went and I contacted her, and I said, yeah, I took a look at something, and I talked to a friend, and we thought, well, you know what, we're going to invest in one of these
Okay.
estate sales. We're going to invest in something. We're going to invest in something. What we're going to do is we're going to turn around. We're going to flip it.
Sure.
Because it was going to be something that was, and we were going to drive out, get it, come back, and bring it back. And so she was nice. She knew my name. She knew everything about it. And I had no idea. I put it through PayPal. And I gave her, I did it personally through the PayPal personal. When it comes to PayPal, it's not her name.
Oh.
So then it's actually, I get a thing going, I didn't get it.
Oh, no.
And so I went, oh, I'm so sorry. And I did it again. And I found out the second person wasn't her name. I immediately called the bank, shut everything down, shut the credit cards down, everything. I told PayPal to shut it down. Too late. PayPal paid it. Right? Because it was done through a personal transaction, not through the business.
Right. No protections.
No protections. And so I tried to fight it. By the way, did not win that.
Wow.
So I had to pay the money because I had to pay PayPal back.
Sure.
Is what I had to do. What could I've done there outside of not going, oh man, this is a great opportunity for me to flip this.
Well, I know you, and I know you're diligent, as Linda is as well. A lot of times I'll send Linda an email and she calls me and says, is this you?
Yeah, right.
And you spoke to the person.
Well, through social media.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is how bad it's getting. I think what I want people to know is this is how bad it got. I had no idea. And then when I looked back at the conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when I look back at the conversations, I was like, oh, there it was.
Uh-huh.
I found it later. They were so good, so clever. They knew everything. They knew my name.
Right.
They knew everything about me. They knew, about my mom and, sorry to hear that your mom died. I mean, they knew it.
Yeah, it seems like what they're doing these days, at least the smart ones, they might hijack someone's email, and instead of immediately doing something with that information, they sit on it and they monitor it. And so they've gotten your cadence. They know how you speak. They know how she
so
speaks.
Good.
And so they can fool people. I think you did your due diligence. Unfortunately, they caught you.
Well, and I think that's the thing I want people to know is that I think, we can do our due diligence. Sometimes you just get caught.
And still, that's right.
And sometimes you get caught. And there's really sometimes just nothing we can do.
No, I think that's why having some identity theft protection is wise
critical
in every, for everyone. Yeah. Even children.
So I know there's good people out there asking this question, and I bet you get this one all the time. Is Bayne, owner, president, founder of Triangle CompuDocs, is there a browser that I should or should not be using when I am doing my work, or when I'm at home, or that's more safe than the other? And what's your response to that?
It's a long response. It's no.
It's good. No, good.
I will say this: if you are using a Macintosh computer, you are probably using the Safari browser. All right.
Right.
That's a standalone. Let's just say that's a standalone. You can also load Chrome or other browsers in that operating system. With Windows, you get Microsoft Edge out of the box. Right. I have to say, Google, who makes Chrome, gives away Chrome software. It's open source software. Right. So they give it to whoever wants to use it. Right. Edge is written with Chrome. Right. AVG browser is written with Chrome. Norton's Safe browser is written with Chrome. CCleaner browser. There are 100 browsers that are really just Chrome.
Mozilla
is their own.
Okay.
Even Opera is written on Chrome.
Really?
Now, right.
Okay.
So Mozilla is on their own. Safari is on their own. Almost everything else is Chrome. There's going to be some others that aren't. So I will tell you, there's not a really good answer. These are all just vehicles that take you along the information highway. So it's whether you like Chevy or Ford or Mercedes or whatever. It's the add-ons that you need to consider. So if you want to protect yourself, even DuckDuckGo is Chrome. But they can change all the back end stuff, right? So they might say, well, we don't track your movement, or we don't sell your information, or we don't provide ads. So you want to think about those types of things. The vehicle itself is fine. Chrome is fine. Safari is fine. Mozilla is fine. Think about the add-ons that are protecting you from advertising that will drag you down a rabbit hole into a place you don't want to be. How are they using your information? Are they selling that information? Look into the back end stuff. There's not really one browser that's better than the other. It really depends on what you like, but put those protections in place to keep yourself safe.
We're almost done here, but this just reminded me, it was not part of our original conversation, but I was curious. A lot of people said Apple versus Microsoft. And I'm sure you get this a lot. I have a lot of the Apple fans will say, well, we don't get viruses, or we don't get any of that. You the Microsoft people is who get all of that stuff. What is your answer to that when you hear that?
Early on, Apple was way safer than Windows because they didn't have the market share. So if you're someone who creates a virus, you're looking to make money, right? You're going to go for the low-hanging fruit. Now the market share is very similar. So there's just as many attacks on Apple as there is on Microsoft. Protection is key. A lot of people don't have any antivirus on their Mac. I think that's unwise.
Right. Agree.
You need protection no matter which one you use. Currently, I would say Mac is a little safer, and they certainly are diligent on trying to prevent those types of things coming in. Windows is a little more Wild West. So definitely just put the protections in place, and whichever one you're comfortable with, that's the one you want to use. And we support both of those as well.
So you support both?
Absolutely.
That was the question. Last question. I have a virus on my computer, or a Trojan.
Right now you do?
No.
Let's work on it later if you want.
No, not right now. Not right now. But let's say I do.
Okay.
Is there way that I can successfully eliminate this, or should I just call you, because I may try to do it successfully on my own, but I didn't get everything?
You might spend hours doing it. I will say this: if you have a pop-up that has taken over your computer, 9 times out of 10, that is just a phishing attempt. They just want you to call that phone number so they can get information from you. It usually warns you, do not turn off your computer. Do not try to close this window. Turn off your computer right away. If you want to get in touch with us, we'll be happy to help you sort that out. Many times, though, once you've rebooted, that screen's gone. It wasn't even a virus. It was fake. If you get a real virus, you're going to know it. You're not going to be able to get rid of it easily. Please give us a call and we'll be happy to help.
Well, we've done our time.
That went fast.
It does. I told you this goes really, really fast. You've been great. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. I have to bring you back. I'm sure there's more things that we could talk about. Computers,
I would love that.
And help people out. And I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions as well. Tell people how they can reach you, get a hold of you, and because they need your services. Clearly,
absolutely.
They do. So
absolutely.
how do they do that?
My website is Triangle CompuDocs. It's like computer doctors, but I made it easy since my name is Bayne. You can go to bookbayne.com. That's BOOKBAYNE.com. And you can schedule an appointment right there. If you need to talk to somebody, block the time. If it's something that we don't know if we can handle for you, which is unlikely, we'll be happy to call you and find out whether or not we can help you.
Awesome. Thanks, Bayne. Stay with me. Hey, folks, this is a show. You know what? I have said to you all over. Listen, thank you for watching us on DBTV. Thank you for downloading us on and on your favorite podcast player. Do us a favor. Will you give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you're there as well? And also give us a positive 5-star review and let people know that you've enjoyed the show. And also, you know what? We're always open to what we could do to improve. So send us some feedback. You can certainly find us on Real Estate Right Now. And then finally, it's this. You had a lot of choices. You chose us. I thank you for that. I never take it for granted. We are so grateful that you did. And as I say to you all over the world, you know what that is. Ciao, everybody.